Skate aids can be very useful for when we bring our children to learn to skate for the first time. Penguins are designed for the smaller children, and either polar bears or snowmen usually for slightly taller children. When we're looking at the right size skate aid for a child, their shoulders should just be a little bit above the handlebars to make it easy for them to move around. If the child is really much smaller, it's going to be harder for them to move the skate aid. They may even end up pulling back on the skate aid, which is not ideal. If the handlebars are too far down compared to the skater, it's going to make them lean forwards a lot. And especially if they're in figure skates, but any skates, even hockeys, it's going to cause us to slip and move forwards this way. It's important to remember that they really are designed for children, for short kids. And once we're hitting teenage years and we're a little bit taller, maybe we've got to 10 years old, 11 years old, the child is probably going to be too tall to use a skate aid anymore. At that stage, we start to use the edge of the barrier. Now, when we're skating around on a fresh set of ice where it's all nice and smooth, the penguin moves very easily across the ice. As our skating session progresses and more people have skated over the ice, it becomes rough, somewhat gravelly, and as a result there's much more friction on the base plate, which we can see is quite a large surface area here, and it can get a lot harder for the children to be able to push the skate aid along, and quite tiring. So bear in mind that towards the end of a session, the kids may get a little bit tired trying to push him around because he's going to have a lot more friction on the rougher ice. A safety note: when we're joining our children on the ice and we're taking them along, we want to make sure that children are always holding both handlebars and working along behind the penguin. We definitely never want to see children balanced standing on the front of the penguin and holding the handlebars while somebody else pushes them along. This is not what a skate aid was designed for, and it's kind of dangerous. So please don't be the person that puts their children at risk. It's possible to get quite a nasty bump on the head if things topple over for any reason, but that's a really risky move and we definitely want to avoid it. Ideally, we want to encourage our children to gradually let go of the skate aid. And it's terribly important to develop that independence as early as possible. So having 1 or 2 sessions with the penguin is perfectly acceptable, but as we move on, we want to try and move away from it, encouraging our children to make little V-shaped steps with their feet to help them to move along, and every now and again maybe taking a hand and having a go without the penguin.